Hey, there's a microphone there, right? Right now.
Okay. What?
Is everybody here?
Yeah, press the button.
Can everybody?
Ow!
Sorry about that, guys. So, I need to find the right distance from this. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, is one of the things that we'll do is I'm going to be directing the bus driver, but I'm also going to be talking to you. So eventually you'll see me stop for a split second to give him directions. But one of the first things that you guys should know is you should understand a little bit about 71st Street in general. And make sure everybody's taking notes so you don't have to... So one of the things that's the most interesting thing to me was when I first came to South Shore is the tracks. So you see these big long railroad tracks in the middle, right? So everybody says, hey, what is that? So to me, that's really the impetus behind kind of understanding what South Shore is all about. And the reason why that is because those tracks, I'll tell you a little bit about those. And then we're going to get a timeline, just so you guys have an understanding of that. So you guys should understand in 1848, the first railroad in Chicago is built. So in 1850, South Shore is nothing but farmland. So everything that you see around you is pure farmland. So then 1870, you have the Great Chicago Fire. So in 1880s, the Illinois Central Railroad puts a stop on 71st Street in Jeffrey. So one of the things that happened is between 1870 and 1880, the IC tracks were built, and that's what you see here to the right. And these are freight lines and also passenger lines. And so what they did is they split this and they went down 71st Street. And one of the first things they did in 1880 was put a stop at 71st and Jeffrey. This was the beginning of the kind of building of South Shore. So then you guys should understand that in 1890 is when you had the World's Columbian Exposition, which is actually 1893. For those of you who don't know what that is, the Columbian Exposition was a beautiful international festival that was on the corner of, let's say, right over there once you get to South Shore Drive, right in Hyde Park, like 57th and South Shore Drive. So that's when you started to see a really cultural evolution happening on the South Side. And so then what starts to happen is you start seeing South Shore getting developed. It starts getting developed because the Illinois Central Railroad tracks, the Columbian Exposition, the stockyards to the south, all the things that are happening, not stockyards, I'm sorry, the steel mills to the south, all the things that are happening here in South Shore, South Shore starts getting built and starts getting developed. So one of the things you should first understand is the building that we're next to now, which is called Buffy, the Black United Front of Illinois. So you guys got a chance to meet Mr. English, and he talked a little bit about Buffy and what that does. Buffy is kind of an outreach source. It's a funding mechanism to help initiatives in the South Shore community. This building that you see here is a really great example of a nice terracotta building. If you guys don't know what terracotta is basically stands for baked clay. And what you see about this building is the beautiful kind of craftsmanship and the little columns that go up. And you see the classic elements of a storefront. On the base there you see granite, which is called your bulkhead. Then on top of that green granite base is you have your storefront windows. And then on top of that you typically will have what you see as a transom to allow more light into the space. And then on top of that you have basically your storefront pediment. And then on top of that you have a cornice, which is typically ornate and very articulate. So those are some of the things that you're going to see in a lot of the buildings on 71st Street. Okay, let's go ahead and pull forward. One of the things that you guys missed, which we'll probably see when we're coming back, is there's a beautiful mural in the back here. And that mural, we'll talk about a little bit about it when we end this tour. But the mural is, once again, we'll talk about it, but it shows you kind of the art and the cultural kind of like atmosphere that exists in this neighborhood. And you're going to see that represented throughout. So if you could just pull up close as you get to... Okay guys, so to the left, if you look to the left quickly, you're going to see ABJ Community Services. The cool thing about this is it used to be a tire manufacturing place. But what you can see is the beautiful mosaics of tile done by Keely Smith, Kayla Smith. that represents kind of, once again, this arts and crafts type of cultural movement that's always occurred in South Shore. Yeah, keep on going. And the ABJ building, ABJ is a community service center building that I'll tell you the name of it. The name of it is the Annie B. Jones Community Service Incorporated. Now, the building was done on April 14th, 1993. Since that time, ABJ has provided comprehensive, life-changing services to more than 7,000 individuals and families annually. The mission of ABJ Community Services is to meet the physical, emotional, and social needs of families, children, and senior citizens by offering effective health and human services solutions. So that's what the ABJ building kind of does now. And you can see it's kind of represents a really beautiful element of South Shore. To the left, once again, guys, if you look over here, you'll see a classic example of a South Shore building with the terracotta, the awning, the beautiful cornice line, right next to the Do It Best tool store. So that's the left. So now what you're going to be coming up on, if you once again keep your eyes over here to the left or to the north, and you're going to be coming up on what's called the Urban Partnership Bank. And let me tell you a little bit about that. So the bank building, and what you guys can see from here with the vacant window storefronts, is comprised of 3 existing buildings. The first building is occupied by the bank at 7054 South Jeffrey. Later, the bank purchased the Jeffrey Theater and the apartment building directly west of the theater, and that's what you can see now. And the original lobby and balcony from the Jeffrey Plaza still remains. What you're going to see is, as we approach it, there's this beautiful, nice center facade with very ornate terracotta at the top. That used to be the center or entrance to an old movie house lobby. And that's why it's so beautiful and ornate. Can you guys see that to the left? Yeah. Okay, great. And then, you know, once again, if you're still looking to the left, you're looking at the South Shore building. So just so you guys know that the theater was done in a neoclassical style and was done... The theater was done in a neoclassical style and was designed by the architect William P. Durer. The theater was demolished in the late 1990s, except for its facade and its lobby area, which you can see here. Is there a question? Oh, okay. Got it. So the building currently is combined into one big building, and it remains the headquarters of what was once called South Shore Bank, but is now called Urban Partnership Bank. Just so you guys know what the role of South Shore Bank is. Shore Bank was a fixture in the South Shore community in the West Side community for Chicago for almost 35 years. If you guys remember back in the day when President Bill Clinton was president, he always used to use Shore Bank as the model for a community-based bank that was interested in redeveloping a neighborhood. So it's probably one of the best models for the city of Chicago for a community-based bank that helps to really kind of help a neighborhood grow. And you guys, once again, if you're looking left, you see this beautiful ornate kind of lobby and theater entrance that still remains. And then you see the Urban Partnership Bank sign there over the bank. But just so you guys know, once again, that the Shore Bank or the Urban Partnership Bank has been responsible for a lot of the development that has occurred in the South Shore community. To the right, the Walgreens and the huge Dominick's, which is called the Jeffrey Plaza. Shore Bank was responsible for making that financing happen and for making sure that thing gets built. And then if you guys keep looking to the left, you'll see a beautiful sculpture, or a beautiful mural. That mural was done by Calvin Jones. And once again, it just reiterates this whole concept of the art and the creativity that is in the neighborhood. And so what we're going to do is we're going to keep on going east towards the lake, and we'll get to our next stop there. So keep on going until you get to 2150.